I'm Tyler King alongside Evan Cook as we get you set for the final home game of the regular season in this 2014-2015 Oil Barons campaign. Evan, the Barons seem to have saved their best for last when it comes to a lot of what we saw last night. As much as they come away with a huge 3-0 win over the Lloydminster Bobcats, I think Bobcats fans have still got to be pretty happy with the way they started that game. If not for some hot goaltending by Zach Fortin, the Bobcats probably put together enough scoring chances to have ended that game in the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's very true. You know, the Bobcats came out last night and they came out firing from the opening face-off, put up 12 shots in that opening period and had a bunch of scoring chances as well. And you're right, Zach Fortin has many good saves throughout the game, let alone that first period. And then a power play goal, by Zach Wittenberg and the Fort McMurray Oil Barons sort of silences the Bobcats just a little bit in that first, and it was enough to throw them off the rest of the way going forward.
And the overall effort for the Barons, it doesn't just come down to the goals they were able to score, because this was a close game through the 60 minutes, but more so it comes down to just how well they played in their own end in the second and third periods. I mean, we haven't seen this team block shots perhaps as willingly as it did and break up so many plays near the front of their net. You think back to, Brett McNeil hustling back to stop a breakaway or pinning a loose puck that was caught in behind Zach Fortin. I mean, as much as you look to a guy like Zach Wittenberg, who had a multi-point night with 3 points on the night, I think the back end in general takes a lot of credit for what was a banner night for the Oil Barons defensively.
Yeah, absolutely true. And, like we talked about a little bit, some of the recent struggles, I don't think you can really pin fully on the defense because it's played well even in some of the games that they've lost here. But you know what? They really stepped it up once again last night. You mentioned a guy like McNeil didn't hit the scoreboard but had those huge defensive plays. Zach Wittenberg always, a nice little touch when he provides offensively for the Barons and really stepped up in his own end as well, just looking like he sort of took control as one of the leaders on that back end. And you're right, really good shutdown play by the Mob, especially in the second and the third periods last night. Looked pretty good.
So now we head into this final game of the regular season, and the implications in the North standings could not possibly be any greater. We're in a very weird situation right now, Evan, where both Oil Barons fans and Lloydminster Bobcat fans have to be Spruce Grove Saint fans tonight, because if Spruce Grove beats Bonnyville, that ends any shot at the Pontiacs taking second place in this division, and they would finish fourth likely, depending on how this goes here tonight. You've got Lloydminster with a win, obviously, they can lock up second place. Bonnyville, if they get just a point, then you're talking about potentially a three-way tie between these three teams if the Barons are able to take down Lloydminster. From an Oil Barons perspective, though, all that's got to be in the back of their mind is they need the 2 points here. If they do that, and Spruce Grove can take care of business against Bonnyville, or at least hold them to 1 point, then you've got a great shot at the Barons finishing third and possibly avoiding a second round matchup with a rested Saints squad.
Yeah, it's just funny how it's sort of shifted out here. And you're right, for the Barons, it's quite simple. They need a big win tonight if they want to move up in the standings. But, you look at a team like Bonnyville, they win, they can finish second. They lose, they can go down all the way to fourth, one game, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see. And that 70-point sort of spread between three teams could well be a factor when it's all said and done here tonight. So, yeah, exciting times in the standings. And you're right, with the implications moving down to fourth versus being up in third. For the Barons, that could well mean a second round playoff series even against these Bobcats potentially, if that's the way it shakes down, which after last night and hopefully after tonight, I don't think too many folks would mind.
Absolutely. It's been a heck of a lot of fun in the North Division this year. We'll cap it off tonight and then get you ready for playoff time. But right now, it's the Barons and the Bobcats, final game of the regular season with puck drop coming up at 8 o'clock.